Good morning, first years. So today that continuation of functional test in biochemistry, that is a thyroid function test. Okay. So nowadays this thyroid problem is also very severe. So mostly this thyroid function is performing for most of the persons. So let us will see this thyroid function test. So thyroid function tests are commonly done to diagnose the hyper and hypothyroidism, is it? So most patients with thyroid disorders have only isolated signs and symptoms. So one patient will have the different signs and other patient will have the different signs. So the clinical diagnosis is usually difficult. So for that reason, diagnosis often requires a laboratory test. So to know whether the person is hyper or hypo, so we have to perform this laboratory test. So first we'll see the how this thyroid hormone will be produced. Let us I will give some that is the introduction. So dietary iodine is absorbed by the alimentary tract and released into the circulation. So whatever we are taking the iodide that is in the salt or any seafoods. So this iodide is absorbed by the alimentary tract and released into the circulation. Some of it is excreted in the urine also. Okay. Some is taken up by the thyroid gland. It is converted into the iodine. From the iodide, so this thyroid gland will be converted into the iodine. So iodine reacts with the tyrosine residues of thyroglobulin. So tyrosine is converted into monoiodotyrosine, so MIT, and diiodotyrosine DIT. Okay. So do DIT residues react with each other to form tetraiodothyronine, that is the thyroxine or T4. So this is the T4. Okay, so one residue each of MIT and DIT react to form triiodothyronine, that is the T3. So T3 and T4. You know, so how it to T4 is formed to DIT, that is the diiodotyrosine reacts with each other to form tetraiodothyronine. Tetra, that way 4. That is called the thyroxine or T4. One residue each of MIT and DIT react to form triiodothyronine. So that is the 3. Tri, that means 3. So T3 and T4 are stored in thyroid acini attached to the thyroglobulin. So it is stored in the thyroid gland. So the hormones are released into the blood as and when needed. So whenever we are required, the hormones are released into the blood. So they are transported in circulation by thyroxine binding globulin. So one protein is required. So to transport in circulation by thyroxine binding globulin, that is the TBG. Okay. So the TBG bound hormone are inactive. So the TBG thyroid bonding globulin bound hormones are inactive. Small amounts of T3 and T4 are released from TBG. Okay. So these exist as free T3 and T4 in circulation. So these will be we can observe in the circulation exist as free small amounts. Free T3 and T4 are the biologically active forms of the hormones. So finally, after all this absorption and all these reactions, we can see the free T3 and T4 are the biologically active forms of the hormones. T4 is more abundant than T3, but T3 is more powerful. So that we have to see. We can see in the blood T4 is more abundant than T3, but T3 is more powerful. Synthesis and release of T3 and T4 are increased by thyroid stimulating hormone THS of anterior pituitary. So synthesis and release of T3 and T4 are increased by thyroid stimulating hormone, that is the THS of anterior pituitary. So TSS secretion is increased by the thyrotropin releasing hormone, that is TRH of hypothalamus. High blood levels of T3 and T4 causes feedback inhibition of THS and TRH secretions. So, so you can see. So we can see once you will see this figure, you can able to know dietary iodine to intestine. So it will go to the circulation. So from the circulation, it is excreted in the urine. So from the hypothalamus, we can see the thyroid releasing hormone, from the pituitary gland, thyroid stimulating hormone, thyroid gland. So here we can see the T3 and T4. So this tissue cells, and from that T3 T4 will be bound, that is a TBG. Okay, TBG will be going to form. So before the advent of radioimmunoassay for the hormones, tests for thyroid function were direct and non-specific. So some of the older tests are, previously we can see the older tests are basal metabolic rate, serum cholesterol, serum protein bound iodine, and radioactive iodine uptake. So these are the old tests for the this thyroid function test. So previously only basal metabolic rate, serum cholesterol, serum protein bound iodine, radioactive iodine uptake. So these are the old. So basal metabolic rate, as you know, thyroid hormone stimulate all metabolic activities. This increases the basal metabolic rate. Hence, BMR is raised in hypothyroidism and lowered in hypothyroidism. See, this you have to keep. BMR is raised in hyper and lowered in hypo. So, however, BMR is affected by a number of physiological and pathological conditions. So, we can by only basal metabolic rate we cannot be able to know the this hypo or hyperthyroidism, because this BMR is we can see in mostly physiological and pathological conditions also it will affect. So therefore this test lack the specificity. So this is not going to do. So next is the serum cholesterol. Serum cholesterol level is decreased in hyperthyroidism and increased in hypothyroidism. But this test is non-specific because serum cholesterol can become abnormal in a number of other diseases. So in other diseases also the serum cholesterol will be going to rise. So this test is also non-specific. So however BMR is affected by a next serum protein bound iodine. So in this test the iodine bound to serum protein is measured. So most of the protein bound iodine, that is PBI, is present in T3 and T4. So serum protein bonding iodine is increased in hyperthyroidism and decreased in hypo. However, accuracy of PBA measurement is poor, but this is also is a poor. So that's why thyroid function tests are commonly done now are. So nowadays these are the recent thyroid function tests. So these are serum T3 and T4, serum free T3, that is FT3, free T3, and free T4, FT4, and serum thyroid stimulating hormone, thyroperoxidase antibodies, TPOAB, thyroid releasing hormone stimulation test. So these are all the some of the thyroid function tests are commonly nowadays they are doing. So we will see the what is the normal range. So the normal range of total T3 in serum is zero point 0.1 to zero point 0.2 microgram per deciliter. This you have to keep in very remember. So because you have to know the normal. So T3 in serum is zero point 0.1 to zero point 0.2 microgram per dl. It is increased in hyper and is decreased in hypo. An increase in serum T3 with normal T4 is seen in T3 toxicosis. So sometimes serum T3 is increased but T4 is normal. So this we can see in the T3 toxicosis, when some T3 toxicosis. Next, serum free T4, FT4. Sometimes serum total T4 may be normal despite the presence of a thyroid disorder. So in such cases, measurement of free T4 can clinch the diagnosis. So normal range of free FT4 is zero point 0.8 to 2 nanogram per dl. So it is increased in hyper and is decreased in the hypo. So that you have to keep the normal ranges. In serum free T3 like serum FT4, serum FT3 may be very useful in the diagnosis of the subtle disorders of thyroid gland. So normal range of serum FT3 is zero point 0.3 to zero point 0.6 nanogram per dl. So this is the T3. Okay, FT3. So in primary hypothyroidism, serum TSS is high due to lack of feedback inhibition. So in primary hypothyroidism, secondary to pituitary or hypothalamic diseases, it is decreased. Okay. So the normal range of serum THS, thyroid stimulating hormone, is 0.5 to 5 microcurries per ml. So this is the normal range of serum TSH. We have to keep the remember of normal levels. So one is the thyroperoxidase antibodies TPOAP. So hypothyroidism can sometimes occur due to Hashimoto's thyroiditis or postpartum thyroiditis. That is after delivery also some mothers we can observe the increase in this one. In such cases, the disease results from the autoimmune response against thyroperoxidase. So this we can see the autoimmune responses from thyroid, that is the in only Hashimoto's thyroiditis or postpartum thyroiditis. Okay. So TRH stimulation, thyroid releasing hormone stimulation test. Anterior pituitary is stimulated by TRH administration. Serum T3, T4 and FSH are measured after stimulation. Okay. This can distinguish between thyroid disorders of hypothalamic origin and pituitary origin. So we can see the difference between the from which it is released and from distinguish between the disorders. Whether thyroid disorders are due to hypothalamic problem or due to pituitary origin. So subclinical hypothyroidism, you can see that this subclinical hypothyroidism usually result from autoimmune thyroiditis, any infections of the thyroid gland. The patient have vague symptoms, normal serum T3 and high serum TSH. These patient can progress to frank hypothyroidism later on. So first we can see the normal T4 and high TSH in this. So serum T3, see we can see the normal. The normal range of total T3 in serum is, you have to keep this one, 0.1 to 0.2 microgram per dl. So it is increased in hyperthyroidism and is decreased in hypo. And increase in serum T3 with normal, as I told, it is the thyrotoxicosis. Okay, that you have to keep in mind. So this is the thyroid function test. Mostly you have to keep the T3, T4 and TSH. T3 will be increased in hyper and T3 is decreased in hypo. Same T4 also. Thyroid stimulate hormone. So these three you have to keep in mind and normal ranges. Okay, that you have to keep in the mind. Don't worry about how this test will be doing on that one. Okay, they will take only the from serum only they will take this blood. Okay, thank you. Once again you go through the textbook. So you will go for the normal ranges. You keep in mind normal range. Okay, thank you.